All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Coming at you guys with another update on crypto real quick. We're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, the Fed is bailing out some of these banks, Silicon Valley Bank, and a lot of this is actually causing the markets to price in Fed pause, Fed pivot, Fed U-turn, whatever you want to call it. All right, they are no longer pricing in as high of interest rates because, some of the effect of these high interest rates and the speed and rate at which we've raised these interest rates is starting to really hit the economy. And we're seeing regional banks collapse left and right. We saw Silvergate collapse. We have Silicon Valley Bank collapse, and there's still many banks that are in trouble right now, especially these smaller and regional banks. So, people are starting to price in a Fed pivot and potentially even rate cuts sooner than they were previously. All right. The market's been a roller coaster. In January, they were pricing in a Fed pivot. And then in February, we got the January inflation data and they said, no, 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 no. Back to higher for longer, back to higher for longer. Jerome Powell spoke twice a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Came out pretty hawkish. And now we're seeing all of this economic news and we're seeing bank runs and people are starting to price in a potential pivot as well again. So we're going to jump into Bitcoin, take a look at the chart on TradingView. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. But I made a video here recently explaining how these were the targets, guys, and the levels were playing out very, very well. We expected a drop in this area, in this region, and the reason being was because we had this overhead supply zone, right? We have the supply zone from over here. We're expecting some type of a pullback to our major support levels over here. So I'm going to break down what these major support levels are, as well as the divergences we had on the MACD and the RSI, and how using these things can help really give you an advantage and give you an edge. Okay, crypto and trading really is like going to battle. It's like going to war. You need to have the proper weapons at your disposal and you need to know how to use them. Now, it's also kind of similar to football. Okay, football, you can come out on the field, okay, and you can have your game plan. Sometimes you got to be Peyton Manning, right? And sometimes you can read the defense and you need to call an audible so that way you can make the right play, to hopefully, score a touchdown, right? And sometimes you can even hit that Hail Mary. So what we did, right, is we used our Fibonacci retracement levels, the 38.2, the 50%, and the 61.8% levels. The reason you use those is because those are the three most common and well-respected retracement levels. And so we had this really strong push up right after the beginning, really the end of 2022, we started to consolidate and got a really nice push up, and nothing moves in a straight line up or in a straight line down, which is why you use your Fibonacci levels, because things tend to move up, retrace, and then continue the trend, or they move down, retrace, and continue that trend. So it's very useful for spotting trend continuation. And we can see we got the move up into our overhead supply zone. We pulled back, and now we're trying to continue that trend and possibly hitting the bullish price target. So I'm going to go over those bullish price targets. But something else that's really, really useful is going to be your MACD, okay? And so take a look on the MACD and the price action. Notice how we had highs here and then higher highs on the price of Bitcoin, right? So the token is actually going up in price, but the MACD was going down, making a high and a lower high. All right, that would be a bearish divergence, and it's an indicator you could see some bearish activity. You combine that with the fact that we were up in our overhead supply zone, and you can start to expect some type of a pullback. Now, I was expecting a pullback to the 20,000, 21,000 region on Bitcoin, and you can see we ended up finding support right around 20,000 and then blasting back up. Now we've created another higher high here. Okay, we also had bearish divergence on the relative strength index at these points where we're making higher highs, but we're making a high, a lower high, and then a lower high again. And I said, hey, if we're going to look to break out past our overhead supply zone and have any chance of hitting the bullish price targets, we need to break out and we need to get a retest of this line, not a look above and fail. Okay, a look above and fail is significant because right now bulls are presented the opportunity on the breakout. We've got the breakout here. Bulls definitely have the opportunity to really push us higher and hit those bullish price targets. If they don't and they fail, it's going to show that ultimately bears are still in control. And even when bulls are presented an opportunity on a breakout, they weren't able to really push us higher into our bullish price targets. So we have to be mindful of that. And then if we zoom in a little bit on our MACD, what I mentioned we were going to be looking for as well to break through this overhead supply zone is going to be the red line crossing above the blue line here. That would be known as a MACD entry signal, okay? And we can see that the blue red line definitely crossed up above. So we want to see now if our MACD can get the breakout past the bearish divergence trend line as well here. One thing to note is too also, now, it hasn't been confirmed yet because the daily candle is still in the process of forming, and this is the daily chart, but we could potentially get 3 white soldiers right here, guys. Okay, this could be 3 white soldiers, which is a bullish candlestick pattern. So if this candlestick is able to close up around here in this region with a strong close to the upside and not a strong pullback, then we also have the potential for 3 white soldiers on the Bitcoin chart. And, if that ends up playing out, and we're able to break past this bearish divergence trend line here, that's when Bitcoin potentially can come up to 27K as well as 29K, right around that 30K region. Those are going to be my bullish price targets overhead on Bitcoin to see if we can continue this bullishness or not. Now, of course, none of this video is financial advice, and rather just trying to show you guys, give you guys an update on some of the key levels that I'm watching. And hopefully teach you a little bit so you can learn something maybe about the MACD, maybe about the relative strength index or the fibs, and how you can use these divergences to really help you out. Now, if you look here at ETH was very, very clean, especially on the RSI. So remember, we talked about that bearish divergence, and you want to see a breakout and retest and then push up higher. That's exactly what happened here on the ETH chart, okay? We broke this initial bearish divergence trend line. We came back and we bounced super hard off of this trend line. We also bounced very hard off of the 50% retracement level right around 1400. And you can see we're battling the overhead supply zone right now currently when it comes to Ethereum. If we can break through there, I have 1835 as well as 1962 are going to be some of the bullish price targets to the upside. All right. Our MACD, if we zoom in on the MACD, it also had bearish divergence. We had some question marks right here on the last video because we weren't sure if we were going to get this red line to cross above, and it did cross above. And we want to see ETH break out past this bearish divergence trend line. All right. And ultimately, if it pulls back, to flip that to support from resistance, similar to how the RSI did over here as well. Now, that's going to be it for today's video. Just a quick update on the crypto market as a whole, looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.